Hope you're doing well. There's a storm coming through my part of East Tennessee right now. Heavy rains, heavy wind, and all of that reminded me of a video I did a while ago asking, what are you building on? Shifting sand or solid rock? So you can call this video a recap on that if you'd like. But in 2 Samuel chapter 22 and verse 4 we read, I will call upon the Lord who is worthy to be praised, so shall I be saved from my enemies. In verse 5 he says, when the waves of death surround me, the floods of ungodliness make me afraid, the sorrows of Sheol surround me, the snares of death confronted me. In my distress I called upon the Lord and cried out to my God. He heard my voice from his temple, and my cry entered his ears. Samuel says, in my time of distress I called upon the Lord. In Isaiah chapter 4 and verse 6 we read, and there will be a tabernacle for shade in the daytime from the heat, for a place of refuge and for a shelter from storm and rain. Of course that's talking about the Messianic kingdom, Christ especially. But all of that reminded me of a story that I was quite fond of. Antonius Pius, his last word to his adopted son Marcus Aurelius, who would later become a Roman emperor, he said, he looked at his adoptive son and he said, equanimitas. That's where we get our word equanimity from. And it means having an even mind, being calm, being undisturbed by things that go on around us. An even mind, an even keel, and an even soul. Now, Marcus would later write in his personal memoirs, he said, to be like the rock that the waves keep crashing over, it stands unmoved, and the raging of the sea falls still around it. What does a rock do on a shoreline when it comes storm? It stays there. Nothing changes. It stays unmoved. And we should be like that as well in our lives. That's why we sing, Jesus is a rock in a weary land, a shelter in a time of storm. We might also sing, when the storms of life are raging, stand by me. So how do we get that equanimity? How do we get that equanimitas, if you'd like to use the Latin word for it? Through Christ. Through Christ. Dear friend, it is Christ that stands sturdy in our times of storm. It is Christ who stands as a shelter in our time of storm, and I want to encourage you, as well as myself, to cling on to Him. Through the storms of life, though they may be raging, let us stand by God.